Here's the unemployment choo-choo. All right, Jeff, what a way to start the week with smiles and laughter. And we're going to do something new on our Rizzo and Jeff Hot Tub Talk Unemployment Choo-Choo that I just can't wait for. And you guys better stay tuned. We are going to really talk about the celebrity birthdays, Jeff, coming up later, we never celebrated. We haven't celebrated in a while, and I feel like we've really fucked that up.
Yeah, you know what? Let's be honest. We never celebrated them before, but I think, well, we did one time when we did Oprah and Selleck, but I don't think that we really spend enough time, and maybe the next time we get a show, we'll do this, spending a time letting everybody know about whose birthday it is, the famous celebrities, so that we can just read off a list off of a piece of paper and let you know. Yes. As you're heading into work or doing something of that nature, whose birthday it is.
Absolutely. And, guys, thanks for tuning in. Another great week here on the Chew. Chugging along, still unemployed, still chugging, but we're running out of gas. Here's the unemployment choo-choo. All right, Jeff. So, we had a very interesting, couple of days, and, I came up to visit my family, and we met up, we had some lunch, it was fun, but I was definitely in a lot of pain. It was the worst week I've had in a long time.
Yeah, you look like you were struggling, like you were getting in and out of the car, like you were handicapped or something.
Actually, I was handy-capable.
Yeah, handy-capable. And then, we made a stop at a Rite Aid, I think it was, and very busy Rite Aid. You went in, and you were in there for an extended period of time, and you came out with quite the first aid kit.
I did. I came out with some lidocaine spray. I came out with some dermaplast. I came out with some gauze, some tape, some bandages, some wet sealed bandages, and of course, the Rite Aid brand of, Neosporin, some antibacterial ointment.
You look like you were prepping to, go to war, actually.
Yeah, it was either that or I was ready to do like an operation at home. I was prepared.
Yes, one of the two. Like it was the 1800s. Yes, you were going to amputate something.
That's right. And but I look, I wasn't trying to be prepared. I wasn't trying to, amputate. I was just trying to get through. And hanging out with you is sometimes painful, but I can get through it. But hanging out with you and this pain that I had, it was almost unbearable.
Yeah, you were really struggling, and you told me that you had some black lump on your stomach or something of that nature.
Yeah, it was a little bit below the stomach, right where the fupa meets the tum-tum. You know that crevice?
It's a tricky area. That's a tricky area.
You're right, because it's not quite the tum, it's not quite the pubis, but it's the fupa.
Right, and it really is in the area where you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down.
And of course, so every time you sit, it squeezes it and it hurts it, and it's like it was literally agonizing. And nothing I did, Jeff, nothing I freaking did would make the pain go away.
Well, you didn't know what it was.
No. And what I told you was, and all I knew was that about a week prior, I was on the ship. I either got stung or bit or something, while I was standing there singing and entertaining the masses. I didn't know what it was. And so, it kind of started swelling up, but it was red.
Yeah. And look, when you're in Florida, there's a lot of weird bugs that you don't even know sometimes. Some things that you think don't fly, but they do fly, all kinds of weird things.
Right. And so, I figured, this is just a bug bite. So, me, I'm diabetic Daniel, and I got needles for days. I decided that, I would utilize my diabetic needle to relieve
and you're stabbing it.
Yes, I did. I stabbed it several times, and I kept squeezing, and stabbing, and just not a lot of stuff would come out, but it seemed to go down, so I bandaged it up. I went to bed. I got up, I went on the airplane, and as I sat down on that airplane, I almost cried. And then I went to the bathroom and I looked, and it turned into black and purple skin.
Oh, after you're sprayed everything on it, you've gutted yourself, you've stabbed yourself, you've bought everything over the counter that's possible. At any point do you say to yourself, might have to go to like a clinic or something to get this checked out?
Actually, it's interesting you bring that up. Yes, we'll get to that. But so we're there, and literally, you know, we're hanging out, and I am just in agony, just all fucking day, all fucking night. I can't figure it out. I can't, and I'm afraid to pop it because the last time I stabbed it, my skin went from red to black.
You're like a walking disease.
Well, I am, you know, and so it's like, okay, what do I do?
Like you're in a third world country or something. That's like something you see on TV.
Yes, I felt like I lived in like Mogadishu. It was bad.
Okay, right.
So, you know, we have lunch. Everything's fun. You know, we get to see each other, and it was cool. And then I go see my Gam. And, you know, my Gam, I'm like, ow, like I was doing with you. She's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I can't explain it to you. I am in such pain. And, you know, I wouldn't show her, but she begged me, so I showed her. And at this point, it was, I would say, probably the size of a gumball. It was black. And you couldn't even blow on it. That's how much it hurt. And she was like, you should go to the hospital. I don't know. I didn't want to. I didn't have the money for it. So she said, how about you go to urgent care? I'll write you a check. You can go. I'm like, okay. So I go, and everyone's there. That's a 3-hour wait because of the COVID test, and nobody's wearing a mask. I'm sitting in there. I'm in excruciating goddamn pain.
Now mind you, sometimes people get to see their grandparents, and they haven't seen them in years. They get a gift. They go have lunch. You're trying to remove a black whatever it is, and she's going to write you a check for this. So you go and you see her, and you're like a gargoyle. I am. I'm a gargoyle. I'm falling apart. My sugars are all out of all whack. You know, it's not good. So I decide to not go to the urgent care. She was very upset. We did decide to go get a cheesesteak for lunch at one of my favorite places at Michael's. We stopped by one of my other favorite places, Tom and Jerry's, to get a roast beef sandwich. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I said my goodbyes, and I got back on the plane. Came home, and I'm still in excruciating pain, Jeff. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tell my mom we're going to have to go to the urgent care. Right. But I said, you know, I do have a needle. I got one. You're going to go do it again.
I got one. Let me just see.
You didn't.
Let me just see. So I go to my bedroom. I go to my box of 100 needles. I open up a fresh pack. Totally sterilized. I got one. I look and I say, do I do this? And
you look at the needle. You look down. You look at the needle. You look down.
And I'm telling you, I feel my mind is saying, all you have to do is stab it. Just please stab it. Because I was at this point.
Listen to what your life's become. But continue. Go ahead.
If I could just get a job, somebody, please. I know this doesn't sound appetizing, but please.
Yes.
Please. So I'm sitting there and I'm debating on whether I stab myself with a needle again. But I know that it turned black last time I did it. And I said, I'm not going to do it. I put the needle down. I go. I get myself a drink. I brought home some iced tea. I get myself a drink. And I turn to get a cup. I reach up, and I am like, it just hurt that bad. So I ran right into the bathroom. I got that needle, and I said, fuck it. Fuck it. So I stabbed the shit out of it.
Violently?
Yep. About 10 times. About 10 times. But here's what happened. Here's what happened. I kept missing it because I was afraid to look. So I was literally just stabbing like my stomach.
Oh, good. Okay. That's good.
But I can't feel it because I stab myself in the stomach all the time.
Right.
So I finally say I have to look. It's the 11th time, and I'm going for it. This big black gumball. It looks like the skin is dead, right? I take that needle, and I get it. I go, bink, and I pop it. It explodes everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, and I'm telling you, it was 4 or 5 straight ounces of just pus.
Yummy.
And the blood. And by the way, it's been 2 days and it's still bleeding. And it's still black. But I feel so much better. And so I did it.
What this is?
Well, so I did a Facebook Live video yesterday. And I said, look, I popped it. I feel great, but it's black and it's bleeding and it won't stop bleeding. And I guess somebody from work who watches the videos said, oh, you know, Monica, one of the owners got bit by a brown recluse spider on the ship. Which, if you don't know anything about that spider, you should give it a Google.
Well, everybody check it out and see if you could get yourself a big black pus sack.
Well, they are
where you could bleed out possibly. Yes, go check that out.
They are deadly venomous spiders, and one bite could kill you. If the venom gets into your blood, you know, it causes you to have a stroke. So,
well, you've already traveled that road.
Right. So, you know, I'm like, well, good, I'm okay. I know how to handle myself. And these people got me all worried, and so these nurses, they were like, look, you know, you really shouldn't fuck with it. So, you know, I kept putting, you know, stuff on it. So I get up today, and I go to the urgent care. Turns out it was a venomous, poisonous spider. And it turns out that if I didn't get an injection of IV fluids and, antibiotics, I would have gone into septic shock and died because it was getting into my blood. And the best part about it is that the skin that died, they were able to revitalize with antibiotics, so now it looks red, but my skin would have died. I would have gone into septic shock, and we still would have been sitting here, and you would have had nobody to do the choo-choo with.
Well, you're telling me I would have had to do celebrity birthdays on my own?
You not only would you have had to do celebrity birthdays on your own, you would have, you know, you would just be, yes, you would be lost. You would have nothing. You wouldn't have anyone to cheer you up. I mean, I think me talking to you half the time cheers you up because you realize that your life nowhere near is as shitty as mine. Well,
you know what? Then I thank you so much for violently stabbing yourself 11 times.
With the diabetic needle.
Yes.
Okay, here's the unemployment choo-choo. Well, Jeff, you said it right at the end of my story. You said that you would have to be alone, and I would never leave you alone, Jeff, for what can only be described as probably the greatest thing that we do, and that, Jeff, is, of course, what?
Celebrity birthday.
Wow, 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 wow. Wicka, wicka, wicka. Boing, boing, boing. Oh, yes. Happy birthday, celebrities. Celebrities are people.
Cumpleaños.
Feliz cumpleaños. But guess what? Celebrities are people, but they are better than you and I. And so we have to celebrate them, Jeff. And you actually said to me one day in private, you said you can't get up in the morning until you look on your phone and see whose birthday it is. Is that correct?
I'll tell you what, and I'm not talking about my friends on Facebook, I go out of my way to find out what famous people are celebrating the day of their birth on this day today. When I get up in the morning, it's the first thing I have to do.
Well, I got to tell you, would you like to just jump into it, or do we just want to just go down the... This is a hell of a list, I got to tell you.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's ride that birthday cake on wheels, pal.
And I'll tell you what. Let's start, and we're going to end. I think I have a really good ending to this one too. It would be somebody's 100th birthday today.
Wow.
Okay. Now this person is no longer with us. Okay, but I can assure you that this is a big time birthday. Are you getting fucking hype?
I'll tell you what, when you tell me somebody's hitting the 100, I'm in.
You're in. All right. Well, let's start with a little bit of not as exciting. Let's start with Scarlett Johansson, Jeff. Scarlett Johansson celebrating.
Beautiful, vivacious Scarlett Johansson. Happy birthday to you.